Welcome to this quick test video regarding peat and its growth and yield with me, MrSealyp. Ladies and gentlemen, I am back on Sunshine Forest for some peat testing. If you watched my last Let's Play episode on Sunshine Forest, I bought the land that's got the peat bogs, soggy boggins, and I had a strange thing happen. And this I've said this before. Like any crops, obviously most crops you've got to go through the process of when you've finished doing your harvest, you've then got to reprocess that field, replant, whether it's reseed, refertilise, relime, whatever it is you're going to do. With the peat on this map especially, it just kind of regrows, or at least it did on the testing that I did when the map first came out. Now the map did get an update. Now on my Let's Play I'm running precision farming. So on my Let's Play, came down to the peat work. I did the peat cutting, which I'm going to start doing now. So you need, if you haven't seen any of this, you need a peat cutter, and then you need a peat dryer to dry the peat. Now you don't have to dry the peat, you can just get the peat, you can collect it, you can sell it as is. You get more money for dry peat, so there's a peat dryer, like a tedder basically. Then you've got a windrower, and then you've got your collection device, which scoops it all up, big hoover type thing. And then you can unload this either into a trailer and take it and sell it, or unload that as it is, which is absolutely fine. Now, what happened was, if I go to my map and show you, so this is the land we own, if we go back onto our growth, it's showing me, that's changed massively from the previous version, anyway, it's showing me that this is ready to harvest. It's good to go. Now when I did the testing on the map tour, once I harvested this, it was harvested, and then it took a couple of months for it to regrow. But it didn't take fertilizer, it didn't take anything. It wouldn't allow you to increase the productivity, but it would regrow. On my Let's Play map with precision farming on, when I harvested this, it remained yellow, ready to harvest. Didn't show that it had been harvested, and then it allowed me to cut it immediately afterwards. But what had happened was, I'd gone, well, I'll show you. I don't know if it's going to work on this. If not, I'll go back to my test map, or I'll do this one again with precision farming. You can tell it's not my my Let's Play, because on my Let's Play, most of this forest has been cut down. This whole landscape looks vastly different on my Let's Play. So what I'm going to do, turn this on, drop it down, and what should happen now is, right, we start cutting the peat, and it looks like this. It leaves a little bit here and there, and because the width of this, each strip of this needs kind of 2.5 cuts for it to all cut properly. But when I came down on my third cut and I overlapped one of my previous cuts, it looked like it was cutting again. So I kind of got double the amount. So I started off by saying that this is repeatable. Like all harvesting is repeatable, but this is repeatable in that you don't need any new seeding, you don't need any new fertilising. Once it's ready to go, you just go again. What became obvious was, and this is why I've come onto a map without precision farming to test this theory, is it became infinitely repeatable. So what I'm going to do now is go back to my map and check. Right, so again, it's not showing that it's been harvested. That should be sitting there showing purple now, because I've harvested it. So what will happen now is, if I drive back over it again, it will cut it again, because it's still showing ready to harvest. I also, and I'll go through the process again on here, as I did on my Let's Play the other day, but just as part of the testing. I then dried it, I then collected it, and the ground, after I'd collected it, looked exactly like this, which looked exactly like the bit next to it, which I hadn't even touched yet, which made me then think, well, hang on a minute. And that's when I initially did the check to see on the growth part of things. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do one pass. It's really difficult to do because there's going to be a gap on the edge, so I might have to go as best I can and maybe leave a gap on the edge. On the next strip over, or the next strip that way, next strip that way, I'm going to do 2 passes over it all. Then the next trip over I'm going to do 3 passes to see whether or not it is genuinely doing that. Now I thought it might just be the precision farming that was causing it, but it actually turns out it's probably not. So I can do all my testing on here. Now obviously this is very niche, because this is only going to be if you're thinking about coming on one of the maps. I'm trying to think, I'm going to double check, because I immediately thought, was this the only map that had peat on it? But I'm sure there was another one by Cole TG. So see, there's a little bit of a gap. I'll leave that on this pass. It's a minimal amount. We'll say it's a minimal amount. There'll be a bit, but you know, we'll see a discrepancy straight away, because if I do this one pass on this one and we dry it and collect it, on the next one I do 2, the next one I do 3, we should see quite a dramatic difference in the amount we actually collect. What I'm probably going to need to do is maybe get a silo to put each thing in. I'm not sure how much we're going to have. I can jot it down. I can always make a note of how much we've got when we collect it. If I take it and sell it, or actually if I just grab it all in my collector, even if I dump it on the floor, I've got a tally of how much we've collected. But so, like I say, if you might watch this and think, oh, I haven't had a go on that map. I haven't done peat. Let's give it a go. Or you might watch and think, that's, it's ridiculous. It's ludicrous. It's not a realistic thing. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. But I did say on my Let's Play I was going to test it, and that's what this video is. This is just, I'm going to do a test. So what I will do now, you'll see me in a little while when I've got all 3 done. And all 3 will include me having dried it. You might see a little clip of me going over it. Like I say again, if you haven't watched my Let's Play, this may be new, you may not have seen it before, of drying the peat down. And then what we'll do is the windrow will collect, and I'll keep a tally of how much we've got, and we'll go from there. What's weird is, and I had this when I did it on my other map, was when I came and turned the angle, yeah, it cut other bits that it didn't do before. Don't know why. So I'll say a bit. 2 passes on this, 3 on the next, and then we'll see what we get. Because it becomes a weird thing that if you don't mind going over the same bit of ground twice, or 3 times, or 4 times, or 5 times, obviously the more times it is going to pile up, that's going to be harder to drive over. Why do you need so much? I mean, I suppose realistically you wouldn't be doing that. You would just do each strip like I'm doing now. You go up and down, you do the whole lot. But it's weird that it's just not, there's nothing, it's not. I don't know what changed when the map got updated, but I preferred it the previous way, that it kind of technically had to regrow. I don't know. I thought I'd jump back in straight away because section 1 pass is done. 23,167 litres we ended up with. I have done 2 passes over this one. I've done 3 passes over this one, and I've started drying this one. That was just for a thumbnail, but a potential thumbnail. So 1, 2 and 3. So I'm going to finish drying this, finish drying that, and then I'll do row 2. Now, if the theory is correct, if what is happening is genuinely happening, and it's allowing me to cut it again, and then again, and I could potentially do another one with 4, another one with 5, or just what I can do now is come back onto this one and just recut it again. I can start cutting because it is still showing as ready to harvest. So what should happen is I should get double the amount off this one. So we should be at about, what did I say, 23,167, so 46 and a half maybe, and that one should be 3 times, so that should be 70,000. Yeah, potentially. Did I say? I don't know. We'll see. If I remember correct, I don't think I can just unload this on the floor. I think I have to either put it into a silo, which we don't have, or turn that off, move that to one side, is take it and sell it, which is a bit of backwards and forwards, but let me see if I can unload here. I don't think I can. Oh yeah, I can. Cool. So I'll just dump it on the floor. It'll be a big old pile, but so I'll have 1 pile for row 1, then for row 2, and then one for row 3. Right, I'll see you in a bit when I've got some more done. Section number 2 complete, 44,095. So not quite double. We're off by 2,000 litres. I mean, it's, you know, there could be all sorts of reasons. It could be this strip's a tiny bit narrower. It could be, I don't know, whatever reason. But we're almost double. Let's just go with almost double. Now, that means I would imagine that the next one we're going to have to unload before we complete, I would think. Yeah, I would imagine so. But that's all right. So I'll crack on and get that one done. I mean, it's looking, you know, it's looking like the result is going to be what I anticipated it was going to be, which is kind of, you know, that's what we need. Let's keep that pile of peats going. Now, obviously, I could go and take this and sell it, but this is the test, is just seeing what we get first more than anything else. And this will inform my decisions for moving forward and what I'm doing on my Let's Play. And it's another one of those things as well, you know, I've had a few things that have happened when I've been doing Let's Plays. I've discussed something or something's happened and I've thought, oh, I could probably do with testing that because I'm not sure, I don't know how that's going to work. And it's that thing of, okay, you know, it might be a very few people that it'll be relevant to. But if I can, while I'm doing my testing, if I make a video like this and it helps anybody, then great. That's the kind of point. That's why I started doing what I was doing on my channel. That's why I started doing what I was doing on mod reviews. You know, all those things, that's what it came down to. It was that thing of, well, look, if I'm not sure and I'm going to be doing some testing, or I'm going to be checking it out, or I'm going to be looking at a mod, then maybe that will help someone else to know what it is they want to do or what they want to pick up, or, you know. So there we go. That's the whole purpose behind this. So, an interesting and curious result. It didn't quite, I don't know if I missed a bit, or anyway, it didn't quite scale up 3 times. We were out by about 2,000 litres, weren't we, between 1 and 2. Fine. I've done a full unload of 45,000 litres, that's already here on the floor, and I've got 16,603 in here. So that brings me up to, what's that, 60,000? 61,603? Yeah, 61,603, and I said we might be around 70, so that leaves us 9,000 short. So, I mean, it's I say 9,000 is a fair amount off, but we are definitely seeing that going over it multiple times will give you multiple times the amount, and like I say, it informs my decision moving forward what I'm going to do on my Let's Play, and if the information helps anybody else out or makes people think, oh, I wouldn't mind going on and giving that a go using some different equipment and machinery, it's fairly straightforward, it's fairly basic, and that's not putting Carl TG down. Oh, the other map as well, if I put it on my editing, you'll already know that it was Tassie Farm. Was Carl TG and Wiki Plays, wasn't it, that had PEAT on it as well. You know, it's a fairly straightforward thing, but like I say, it's something a little bit different, and it's a little a different zone to be having to play around with. But there we go, there's our result, and I hope you found all this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free, and if you want to share this video, then please be my guest, whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.